Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the Upper Down, aka Tud, and today we're going to be playing some more Slay the Spire. Hopefully we can reach the heart once again and give that another try. Gonna go ahead and pick the Silent here. Let's go ahead and embark. And take a look at our options here. Transform a card, obtain 100 gold, choose a rare card to obtain, or obtain a random boss relic in exchange for our starting relic. Starting relic at the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. There are boss relics that are much better than that one. Or I could trade 99 gold for a rare card. You do get to choose the rare card that you obtain. I think that's worth it. After image. Whenever you play a card, gain 1 block. That's a heck of a thing to start off with. Wraith form for the intangible, so you do not take damage, but you lose 1 dexterity in exchange for that. And Doppelganger. Next turn, draw X cards and gain X mana. I'm going to go ahead and pick up After Image here. Having access to that early on is great. We have the mini-boss here that we're going to go ahead and fight. There's a fire directly after that. Chest and a shop about halfway up. I could go for the shop or I could go for the fire, depending on where we're at. We shall see when we get there. Alright. 7 damage from the enemy in the back, 5 from the enemy in front. 3 mana to start off. Let's go ahead and play a defend. That'll block at least 5 of it. Could throw out a neutralize. I only have 1 strike though, so we will have to play a defend here regardless. Now I don't think I'll have enough to block everything, or to take out an enemy here, so I'm simply going to weaken the one in the front. Oh, fantastic, that's just enough. Enemy in the front is now down to 4 health, 30 health remaining on the enemy in the back. No damage received. Alright, well let's go ahead and throw out another strike here. We've got Survivor. We could block all incoming damage here. And I say, why not? Block all incoming damage here. And I say, why not? Right. Let's go ahead and get After Image started here. Throw a neutralize an enemy to weaken him. That puts him at 7 now. We have 2 mana left to work with. We're going to go ahead and strike and Survivor. That'll full block all incoming damage. Alright, no incoming damage this time, so let's go ahead and finish him off here. Alright, so 15 gold, some thorns here. We have Crippling Cloud, which will apply 4 damage, 4 poison to... Let's start over here. Apply 4 poison and 2 weak to all enemies. We have Deflect here, 0 cost for 4 block, and Dagger Spray. 4 damage to all enemies twice. Having Crippling Cloud is nice for the weak, but it costs 2. Dagger Spray, dealing damage twice to all enemies, I think is the way to go. It doesn't necessarily matter which way we go here. We'll have access to a shop, but we may not have the money for said shop. Or we could take our chances with 2 question marks. I think instead we will go down the left route here. Golden Idol. You come across an inconspicuous pedestal with a shining gold idol sitting peacefully atop. It looks incredibly valuable. You sure don't see any traps nearby. If you take the golden idol, enemies drop 25% more gold, but you do trigger a trap. Worth it? Become cursed. Gain an injury, it's unplayable. Take 17 damage or lose 5 max health. As you grab the idol, you stow it away. A giant boulder smashes through the ceiling, into the ground next to you. You realize the floor is slanted downwards as the boulder starts to roll towards you. Let's go ahead and take the injury here. That can easily be removed from the deck later. Run! You barely leap into a side passageway as the boulder rushes by. Unfortunately, it feels like you sprained something. Alright, well, let's take a look at the shop here. I don't think there's much of anything we can really buy with 15 gold. There is not. On to the next. Looks like 12 damage incoming here. Start off with After Image. If I play both my defense, I can fully block everything. Why not? Alright, no damage this time around, so let's go ahead and throw Neutralize on the enemy in the front to trigger his shell here, and on the back. Now we don't have to worry about that for next turn. We've gained 2 weaken here, so we will do slightly less damage, but that's okay because we have some finisher cards here. Alright, finisher deals 6 damage for each attack played this turn. Poisoned Stab deals 6 damage, apply 3 poison, or Backflip, gain 5 block and draw 2 cards. Finisher can be pretty big depending on how many cards you have that you can play relatively easily. I like to pick up as many Shiv cards as I can. That will definitely bolster this card. Or Backflip here for the block and extra draw. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Finisher here. Let's see what that looks like in the long run of this playthrough. 11 damage here coming from the enemy. Let's go ahead and throw on some block here. I have Dagger Spray, which would do more damage than anything else in my hand, so let's go ahead and do it. That'll put us at 7. We will take 4 damage here. Let's go ahead and drink our colorless potion, see what we get. Metamorphosis. Shuffle 3 random attacks into your draw pile. They cost 0 this combat. Flash of Steel. Deal 3 damage, draw a card. End the bomb. Let's go ahead and pick up Metamorphosis here. That'll count as another card played. 3 zero-cost cards added to the deck. 1 extra block. So we'll only take 3 damage now. Let's go ahead and neutralize into a poisoned stab. That will trigger Finisher to do 2 times the normal damage. And we can play everything else too, why not? $14 damage it looks like. We have enough to finish this. Deadly Poison. Apply 5 poison. Distraction. Add a random skill into your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Sucker Punch. Deal 7 damage. Apply 1 weak. Let's go ahead and pick up Distraction here. And we will go ahead and fight the first mini-boss. go ahead and start off with After Image. Go ahead and neutralize to weaken him a little bit. Dagger Spray, that'll wake him up. Into a finisher. 18 damage incoming here. We still have After Image active, so we will gain 1 block from everything we play. And we have enough to fully block. So I will gain 9 from playing Survivor, that will put me at 15. I will take 3 damage from this. It's worth throwing out a strike here. And the strike gave me 1 block as well, 2 damage incoming. 18 this time around. Distraction. That gives us Storm of Steel. Discard your hand, add 1 shiv to your hand for each card discarded. So let's go ahead and play both of our defends here. And we will play Storm of Steel to get 2 shivs. That gives us 16 block. We will take 2 damage here. No attacks incoming this turn. Let's go all out with strikes. Down to 76 health on the enemy. Another 18 damage. Let's weaken him a little bit. We'll take a little bit of damage here. We're going to be taking 5. Another 18 damage here. And Storm of Steel once again. Let's go ahead and play Defend. Survivor will force me to discard a card. But I don't really have many options at the moment. Dagger Spray is going to do more damage than a shiv here, so let's go ahead and play that. 4 damage. Let's go ahead and do 2 strikes into a finisher. Boss is down to 39 health. He's going to heal at the end of his turn to 42. Let's go ahead and weaken him a little bit. Three damage incoming. Constantly fighting a battle against his regeneration. Unfortunately, shivs only do 4 damage. With my strength reduced by 2, they would only do 2 damage. But my defends are also weakened. Play Storm of Steel, I would get the same result as I would if I just played a strike. Actually, no, because I would get an additional block out of it. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, that puts us at 11. 7 damage incoming. It's going to go ahead and weaken me once again here. Definitely need to try to finish him off as quickly as possible. $27 health remaining on the boss here. Almost nothing on my defends and strikes. $13 damage. This might be over already. Weakened him here. down to 23 health. The boss is at 14. Down to 6 health on the enemy. I have no strength to speak of. Well, I'll survive this, and he'll take himself out because of thorns. 15 health remaining, though. Fossilized Helix. Prevent the first time you would lose health each combat. We also get the emerald portion of the key and a fear potion. Noxious Fumes. At the start of your turn, apply 2 poison to all enemies. Outmaneuver. Next turn, gain 2 mana. Poisoned Stab. Deals 6 damage, apply 3 poison. Let's go ahead and pick up Outmaneuver here. Mana seems to be my Achilles heel so far. Unfortunately, I do have to go for the health here. That boss fight took nearly everything I had. The Serpent. You walk into a room to find a large hole in the ground. As you approach the hole, an enormous serpent creature appears from within. Hello. What have we got here? Hello, adventurer. I ask a simple question. The most fulfilling of lives is that in which you can buy anything. Do you agree? If you agree, you get the Doubt Curse, which will give you 1 week at the end of your turn, but you will gain 175 gold. Or you could simply disagree. Now, we do already have an unplayable curse in the deck here. This would add a second one. Let's disagree here. The serpent stares at you with a look of extreme disappointment. Alright, let's go ahead into the treasure room here. Golden coin, upon pickup, gain 300 gold, or the blue sapphire. Now, looking at the map here, we do have a shop coming up, but we do have a mini-boss right afterwards. I'm thinking it's probably better that we go to the left here to take advantage of the fire here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the linked sapphire key here, which will remove the old coin from my selection list. Alright, 6 damage coming from the enemy in the back there. Let's go ahead and start off with After Image. Go ahead and play Outmaneuver for next turn. Survivor would give us all the block that we need. Three extra strength on the enemy in the front here. He's looking to do 9 damage this time around. Plenty of block, nothing to worry about damage-wise. Nine damage from the enemy in front. That's okay, we have enough to take him out. Did apply myself with vulnerable here as a result of taking the enemy in front out. Let's go ahead and neutralize the damage from the enemy in the back. Go ahead and play Survivor to discard the injury. Outmaneuver, and why not? Let's use a finisher. That gives us 12. That is just enough to block the incoming damage. Why not? Let's go ahead and use Distraction. That gives us Deadly Poison. Let's finish him off with Poison. Riddle with Holes. Deal 3 damage 5 times. Choke. Deal 12 damage. Whenever you play a card this turn, the enemy loses 3 health. That's actually a very nice card. Unfortunately, it costs 2, and my mana is only at 3. Crippling Cloud. 4 poison, 2 weak to all enemies. Why not? Let's go ahead and pick that up. Having weakness on all enemies would greatly improve my performance with this playstyle. 10 damage incoming. Go ahead and throw on After Image here. We have access to Dagger Spray, as well as Survivor. Just enough block, don't have to worry about any damage here. Let's go ahead and play Distraction. Outmaneuver here into a strike. Unfortunately, I was 1 block short, so that will trigger my damage absorption there. I'll block this time around. It's going to put up some defense and then try to flee. He will not be able to. Regained all of our gold. Took no damage in this or the previous combat. Predator. Deal 15 damage. Next turn, draw 2 additional cards. Blade Dance. The shivs, yes, that is what we want. And then straight into the fire room here. We could recall for the ruby or heal. Let's take a look at the map. We have question mark room and another combat. Let's go ahead and pick up the ruby key. That completes our key here. Alright. You come across a dead adventurer on the floor. His pants have been stolen. Also, it looks as though he's been gouged and trampled by a horned beast. Though his possessions are still intact, you're in no mind to find out what happened here. Find loot, 25% chance a monster returns. You found some gold. 30 to be exact. Do you continue searching? There's a 50-50 chance that a monster appears. We found nothing. 75% chance now of a monster. Let's go ahead and leave. You exit without a sound. Alright, we have 1 enemy here. Go ahead and start off with After Image. Apply him with Vulnerable. And let's weaken him a little bit. I have Defend and Dagger Spray, as well as my finisher. Unfortunately, I don't have enough mana to play all of them. I'm going to go ahead and go with Dagger Spray here, into a finisher. We do have Buffer enabled. That will nullify any damage we would receive. That puts him down at 4 health. Let's go ahead and play Distraction here. Crippling Cloud. Fantastic. That is exactly what we needed. Reflex. Unplayable. If this card is discarded from your hand, draw 2 cards. Noxious Fumes. At the start of your turn, apply 2 poison to all enemies. And Sneaky Strike. Deal 12 damage. If you have discarded a card this turn, gain 2 mana. Let's go ahead and pick up Noxious Fumes here. It's a cheap power that will apply poison every turn. We are at half health. We probably could handle the first boss at this point. Let's see what we can smith here. Could increase Noxious Fumes to 3 poison. Could make After Image start out in my hand right away. Crippling Poison will do 7 poison and 2 weak. We could make Distraction cost 0. giving us a free skill card to play every time we play the card. Finisher will now do 8 damage instead of 6. Outmaneuver, we could get 3 mana next turn instead of 2. Let's go ahead and upgrade Noxious Fumes. I think that's going to be the first best card to upgrade. Alright. Have to break through 30 to get to the next mode shift here. Let's go ahead and play Outmaneuver for next turn. Blade Dance. And Distraction. Unfortunately, that is not the card I was hoping to get. We do have a buffer to block the first damage we would receive, and it's going to be a lot, it seems. Noxious Fumes here into a Crippling Cloud. Go play After Image to get that started. We've triggered his defensive form here. It's down to 200 health. 9 damage incoming. I've drawn all defends. Which means I probably won't have any for next turn when he does his more powerful attack. I had a feeling. Okay. Outmaneuver will help me for next turn. Let's go and do Blade Dance for some more shivs. Down to 14 health. Just enough to put him back into defensive stance. Let's go ahead and play Doppelganger here. This will give us 2 additional cards and 2 additional mana next turn. We have 5 mana to work with, 9 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and put on Defend here. Down to 81 health. No damage sustained on my part. 16 incoming. Go ahead and play Defend here. Now I could play all of these shivs. Unfortunately he does have thorns on, so I would lose my block. We don't want to do that. $59 health remaining on the boss here. It looks like 20 damage incoming. And there is nothing I can do to survive this. Go ahead and Dagger Spray here into a finisher. Unfortunately, it was exactly enough to take me down. Alright, well, let's go ahead and give it another try here. Could start out by upgrading a card. Reduce enemies' health in the next 3 combats by down to 1. Transform 2 cards, but you obtain a curse. Lose your starting relic, but obtain a random boss relic. Given the cards that you start with, I don't necessarily think there's anything worth upgrading out of those. Gotta take a look at the map first. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to get to the mini-boss within 3 fights. That would be nice. I'd be able to drain his health down to 1. Let's instead trade our starting relic for a random boss relic. Upon pickup, remove 2 cards from your deck. Okay. I guess I'll remove a strike and defend. Alright, so we are going to try to fight the boss there. It's going to be challenging, though. Lots of fights in between. But weaken him to start. We're gonna take the 2 damage there for the opportunity to do some damage back. The main problem with this character's build is mana, it seems. Getting to the point where you don't have to worry about whether or not you can afford to heal yourself, or afford to prevent damage instead of dealing damage. Alright, Noxious Fumes, dodge and roll, which will give me block this turn and next turn, or Deadly Poison. I'm torn between Noxious Fumes for the continual poison and the dodge and roll. Well, let's pick up dodge and roll here. I'm thinking that's going to be the best of the 2 options. Scrap Ooze. As you walk into the room, you hear a gurgling and the grinding of metals. Before you is a slime-like creature that ate too much scrap for its own good. From the center of the creature, you see glints of strange light. Perhaps something magical? It looks like you can get some treasure if you just reach inside its opening. However, the acid and sharp objects may hurt. Lose 3 health, 25% chance to find a relic. And we succeeded. Negate the next 2 curses you obtain. After rummaging through the metal and burning acid, you finally grab hold of a relic and yank it out. You pull your way out of the ooze, damaged, but rewarded. No damage incoming this turn. Let's go ahead and deal what damage we can. Six damage incoming here. Let's go and play dodge and roll. Looks like we'll take 2 damage here. Automatically gain 4 block from dodge and roll. This will put us at 9. That's a perfect block. Down to 15 health here. Drawing up yet another dodge and roll. Another perfect block. And that's enough to finish it. Bane deals 7 damage. If the enemy has poison, deals 7 again. Deflect, gain 4 block. And Piercing Wail. All enemies lose 6 strength this turn. Bane would be nice, but we don't really have a lot of poison at the moment. Deflect being a 0 cost for 4 block. I think that's the way to go. We want to go left here to fight the mini-boss so we can get our early part of the key. Enemy in the back is attacking for 8. We have Survivor, which will block 8. That's enough to take out the enemy in front. Neutralize will weaken him a bit. We'll play dodge and roll to help ourselves out next time. Right. Duplication Potion. This turn, your next card is played twice. Cloak and Dagger. Gain 6 block. Add a Shiv into your hand. Bouncing Flask. Apply 3 poison to a random enemy 3 times. And another Piercing Wail. We could start getting to work on the poison, but I'd rather have the block and Shiv. Into the question mark room. Hopefully it's not a combat. Match and Keep. A gremlin is madly shuffling cards on the table. This monster seems to be a harmless one. You approach him out of curiosity. 12 cards. Match them to keep them. 5 tries, no do-overs. Are you ready? Let's start. Alright, so in the bottom right corner we have Neutralize. Top right corner is Wraith Form. Cloak and Dagger here. We've matched that, fantastic. We have Bandage Up and Skewer. Pain and Neutralize. I could go ahead and get another Neutralize card here. I think that's the best option. You complete the Gremlin's game and look up. He disappeared. Alright, into the mini-boss here, we've got 63 out of 70 health. And of course, they all have immunity to status debuffs, so we'll have to clear that out as quick as possible. Dodge and roll into a Cloak and Dagger. Gives us a Shiv to work with. 1 damage we'll take this time around. $22 damage, it looks like. We have a Neutralize in our hand. Unfortunately, it will not take effect. Deflect, 0 cost for 4 block. And another Defend, that puts us at 13. I'm going to go ahead and use Neutralize on the enemy in the middle, because he is going to be attacking next turn. Hopefully I will be able to draw another Neutralize to hit him, the enemy in the middle with that. Fantastic. Now he's down to 8 incoming damage. This is a full block this turn. Almost defeated the enemy in the front, down to 10 health. Fortunately, we drew almost entirely daze, so we will take quite a bit of damage from this. Down to half health. We'll block almost all of this, taking 2 damage. Dump all the damage into the enemy in the middle. Puts him at 16 health. 5 damage we're about to take. There's another 6, that puts us at 22 health. Deflect into Cloak and Dagger. We will be able to full block this turn. Alright, we're going to go ahead and use Neutralize. That brings him down to 8. Dodge and roll into Cloak and Dagger. We finished him off. $11 damage incoming here. Full blocked once again. Fortunately, I won't be able to block all of this. We will be taking 6 here. Down to 16 health. 9 health left on the enemy. All I need to do is draw 2 strikes. Cloak and Dagger will not be enough to do it. But we fully block this turn, so there's always next time. Two health remaining. Down goes the boss. Centennial Puzzle. The first time you lose health each combat, draw 3 cards. Emerald Key and a skill potion. Doppelganger here for X draw and X mana, depending on how much you spend. Blade Dance for some shivs, or Flying Knee. 8 damage, gain 1 mana at the start of the next turn. Let's go ahead and pick up Blade Dance here. Into the fire here. We'll go ahead and heal. Puts us just over half health. Into the next combat here. Both of these enemies will give me vulnerable upon their defeat. As it stands, I will take 2 damage. Let's go ahead and use our skill drink. Backflip, gain 5 block, draw 2 cards. Burst. This turn, your next skill is played twice. Double the enemy's poison. This will not be effective because there is no poison at the moment. Burst. I don't really have any skills that I would like to play twice, so let's go ahead and pick up Backflip here. That will cost 0. That'll give us a full block and the ability to apply weakness. That puts the enemy in the front at half health. 12 damage incoming. Make that 10. Down to 9. We've gained 2 vulnerable, but we don't need to worry about that. Blade Dance. Let's go ahead and throw some shivs. Seven health remaining on the enemy. Our vulnerable has fallen off. $10 gold. We've found Finisher again. Another Sucker Punch and Prepared. Draw a card, discard a card. Let's go ahead and pick up a Finisher here. We're starting to get some shivs in the deck, so that could turn out nice for us. Into the treasure room here. 24 gold. We found the Potion Belt. Upon pickup, gain 2 potion slots. Would be nice to have 5 potion slots, but it's also nice to have the Sapphire Key already out of the way. Let's go ahead and pick up the Potion Belt. I'm sure we will find more opportunities to get the Sapphire Key later. $11 damage right off the bat there with the enemy in the front. Let's go and play Dodge and Roll into Blade Dance. That gives us 3 attacks played on our finisher here. Let's go ahead and play Duplication Potion into Finisher. Alright, no damage taken this turn. Weaken him a little bit. 2 defends will be just enough block to nullify the damage he's about to deal. Play another Cloak and Dagger here. Alright. 16 gold. Another Dodge and Roll. Infinite Blades. At the start of your turn, add a Shiv into your hand. A backflip here for block and draw. I think it's worth picking up another Dodge and Roll here. Into the shop we go with 226 gold. Enemies in elite combats have 25% less health. Whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with 2 additional mana. Upon pickup, obtain an additional copy of a card in your deck. So anything we would like to duplicate? Probably Blade Dance, I would say. Let's go ahead and do that. That puts us at 74 remaining. We are 1 gold short of the card removal service. In the event that we come across a card that we need to remove. Alternatively, I could pick up Infinite Blades here. I think that's what we're going to do. Dash, however, is 10 block, 10 damage. That is pretty significant. Well, let's go ahead and pick that card up. That'll help us out a lot in this playthrough. Let's go ahead and start out with Dash here. That gives us 10 into Cloak and Dagger, which gives us another 6. There's a full block. 52 health remaining on the enemy. Let's go ahead and use Blade Dance. And why not? Let's go ahead and do Dodge and Roll for next turn. That puts the enemy at 22 health. He's going to go ahead and split into 2 smaller enemies. 10 damage each. Neutralize on the enemy in the front. As well as strike and shiv. 9 damage. Unfortunately, I do not have enough for that, so let's go ahead and play defend here. Looks like 2 damage we'll be receiving here. Puts us down to 35. Our relic has triggered. We've drawn 3 extra cards here. That is a full block. Going to Blade Dance here. Deadly Poison, 5 poison damage. Skewer, deal 7 damage X number of times. Bouncing Flask for poison. You get more poison out of Bouncing Flask than you do out of Deadly Poison, but Deadly Poison costs less. Let's go ahead and pick that card up. Into the next shop here. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money for anything. Simply proceed on to the next fight. Alright, all 3 enemies have curl up. We will need to remove that in order to properly do damage to them. Let's go ahead and start out with dodge and roll. Blade Dance into defend. We'll neutralize the enemy in the middle. That'll reduce his damage. So 12, 6 is 18. Unfortunately taking 9 damage here. We did draw on more cards here to work with. We do have dash here, which would do 10 damage. Not enough to take anybody out, not enough to automatically take out the front or middle guy. It would take out the enemy in the back. Let's go and play Cloak and Dagger here, get some more block. That is enough to block all incoming damage. There we are. The last enemy remaining has 8 health. We will full block all of his damage. One health remaining on the enemy. Alright, footwork. Gain 2 dexterity. Why not? We do have to rest here. Boss is not attacking this turn. We'll go ahead and play dodge and roll to set up for next. 2 Cloak and Daggers to get some attacks. Let's go ahead and get footwork going. Dash will do 10 damage versus Blade Dance, which will do 12. Let's go. But dodge and roll will give me 6 block next turn. Yes, let's do that into Blade Dance. Okay. Let's go ahead and neutralize here to weaken him. Blade Dance. Could apply some poison here, or simply strike. Let's go ahead and apply some poison. We'll take 20 damage here. Neutralize because it's free, deflect because it's free. Let's go ahead and double strike. Dodge and roll for next turn. Let's go and do Blade Dance. We'll strike into 3 shivs. This is going to cause him to split at 54 health. Neither of which will attack this turn. .36 health remaining on the enemy in the front. He will split at 27. 16 damage coming from the enemy in the back. Let's go ahead and play Cloak and Dagger here. Neutralize on the enemy in the back. This will go off twice now, our finisher for 4 damage each. We've now pushed the enemy in the front into a split, 23 health on each, full block from the enemy in the back. Okay, deflect into Cloak and Dagger. Let's go ahead and strike the enemy in the front. Try and deal some more damage here. Lots of damage incoming here. Almost enough to take out the enemy in the front. Gonna take quite a bit of damage here. Down to 12 health remaining. Becoming more frail by the moment. 16 damage from the enemy in the back. Let's go ahead and reduce that a little bit. To 34 health on the enemy in the back, he will split at 27. Just enough. 26 on both enemies remaining. 17 damage total incoming. Let's go ahead and reduce that a little bit. Looks like we'll take 2 damage here. That puts us down to 10 health remaining. 10 damage incoming from the enemy in the back. Cloak and Dagger will give us another shiv to work with. 16 damage we have here. Or 10 block. I don't necessarily need the block. Nine health on the one in the front, 10 on the health in the back. 10 health on the one in the back. 8 health remaining on my character. One enemy left. Let's go ahead and use dash here. And Cloak and Dagger finishes it. Flex Potion for 5 strength. We have Wraith Form, Storm of Steel, and Nightmare. Choose a card, next turn add 3 copies of that into your hand. Let's go ahead and pick up a Wraith Form here for the intangible. During boss and elite combats, gain mana at the start of your turn. Gain mana at the start of your turn, you can no longer smith at rest sites, and double the effectiveness of potions. Let's go ahead and get Sacred Bark here to increase the effectiveness of potions. Now our Flex Potion will give us 10 strength for 1 turn. Alright, do we have access to a lot of fires here? I want to try to upgrade as many cards as possible. Straight down the middle appears maybe our best bet for fires. Alright, let's go straight up the middle. 40 armor and 20 health. Let's go and get Blade Dance going here. And activate our finisher. Using his armoring ability, he now has 35 armor and will be dealing 10 damage. Dodge and roll. Let's weaken him a little bit. Oh, he has an artifact that nullifies that. Let's go and play a Survivor here that will block all incoming damage. "26 armor remaining, 20 damage incoming." Let's go and play Footwork here. Wear off another one of the artifacts. So we'll block the first attack completely and take 7 from the second, which will trigger our draw ability. We have access to Wraith Form if we wanted to. Cloak and Dagger will give us all the block that we need. Alright. 1 mana left to work with. Let's go ahead and play Blade Dance here. Almost removed all of the enemy's armor. He's down to 1 armor and 20 health. We've worn off all of the artifacts, so he can now be debuffed. Alright, let's get dodge and roll going. Deflect. Down to 3 remaining block. 10 damage incoming, he's going to block as well. Defend, that blocks most of the damage, into Blade Dance. Finisher goes off 3 times, and that ends the fight. We have Caltrops. Whenever you are attacked, deal 3 damage back. Dagger Spray, deal 6 damage to all enemies twice. And Piercing Wail, all enemies lose 6 strength. Let's go and pick up Caltrops. I like being able to deal damage back when I'm attacked. Alright. We have 3 enemies here, all 3 of which are flyers. Let's go ahead and get some blocks started. Nice. We drew Caltrops. Let's go ahead and get that activated here. Into dodge and roll. 10 damage coming from the enemy in the back. We could play defend here to fully block that, or blade dance to get some shivs going. Let's go ahead and get the extra block. Both the first and second enemy are going to go ahead and increase their strength by 1. Third enemy has dropped for 10, full block. And my Caltrops did their job, took about half of his health. Dodge and roll here. Got a lot of incoming damage, 10 from the second enemy and 13 from the first. Let's go ahead and get Blade Dance going and Survivor as well. Alright, that puts the first enemy on the ground. He will no longer be attacking. Second enemy is going to go ahead and take 15 damage. Alright, we have 2 neutralizes and a dash. Dash is going to give us 12 block, which is almost equivalent to 2 defends. So that is 19 and 4, that's 23 damage. We have a full block. Caltrops doing pretty good work here. Couldn't get Cloak and Dagger for the Shiv. First enemy down to 6 health. Middle enemy has been defeated. Final enemy has... Last enemy has 11. Okay, so big attack incoming here. Let's go ahead and play Cloak and Dagger for the Shiv. We can neutralize on the enemy in the front or the enemy in the back. I'm going to go ahead and use my abilities on the enemy in the back. Try to get him back on the ground. Alright, the enemy in the front should take himself out when he attacks me due to my thorns. Enemy in the back is stunned. He will not attack this turn. Let's go and use dash to take him out. Quick Slash, deal 8 damage and draw a card. Acrobatics, draw 3 cards and discard 1. Or Deflect, 0 cost, 4 block. Let's go and pick up Deflect here. I like having 0 cost cards. Let's go ahead and head into the shop here. 157 gold to work with. Can pick up a Strawberry, raise our max health by 7. Pick up a Cauldron here to brew 5 random potions. That would fill up our entire potion inventory. Are there any cards that I see that I need? Infinite Blades. Add a Shiv into your hand every turn. Next turn gain mana. Another Cloak and Dagger for more block. Could be worthwhile to pick up Cloak and Dagger and Infinite Blades here for the additional shivs. And we'll actually be able to get outmaneuver as well. That was a better trade-off to 5 potions, I say. Into the question mark room here, we have Naloth. An odd creature with a hunched back, sprouting several tentacles, is scrounging through a pile of trash and debris in front of you. As you approach, he shuffles towards you in a non-threatening manner. Noth hungry. Feed Noth. Okay, a couple of options. Sacrifice your sacred bark to obtain a special relic. Triple the chance of finding rare cards from combat rewards. You can offer the potion belt, which would give you 2 less potions for the relic, or you can simply leave. Sacred Bark increases the effectiveness of potions, so it's more a trade-off of, do you want to carry 2 less potions, or do you want to have half the effectiveness that you currently do? Let's go ahead and trade the potion belts. I'd rather have stronger potions than more of them. Holding the relic out towards him, Noloth snatches it out of your hand with his tentacles, dislocates his jaw, and slurps down your offer in one quick gulp. He gives you a large, toothy grin as more tentacles appear from behind his cloak. These ones brandishing an impossibly neat-looking box. He pushes it towards you until you take it. Alright, 21 damage incoming from the boss, mini-boss here, I should say. He essentially is a mini-boss with how tough he is. Cloak and Dagger into dodge and roll. 15 damage. We can block the full brunt of that with defend. Let's go ahead and throw out a shiv here. 72 health remaining on this enemy. Another 21 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and play footwork here. We could play dash to gain 12 block. That would put us at 16. Or dodge and roll here for an additional 6 next turn. I think dash is the better option. 21, that is a full block. We have a finisher here in our hand, but we have no attacks. We also do not need really any form of block. Wraith form would prevent us from taking damage 2 times, but we would lose 1 dexterity at the start of each turn. That does add up. It's a shame to discard all of those block cards, because I'll need them this turn. Weaken him down to 15 damage. Get a couple of Cloak and Daggers in there. And Blade Dance too, why not? Let's go ahead and drink our Flex Potion here. We have the enemy down to half health. He triggered my ability, so I did draw some cards here. Alright, 21 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and play Infinite Blades to get another shiv each turn. Definitely have to play a Survivor this turn to mitigate some of this damage. Caltrops would be nice against a normal enemy, but this one in particular, because of his malleable ability, he will gain block every time I attack him, so the Caltrops will essentially be nullified every time I make an attack. Outmaneuver or defend here. Let's just go ahead and defend to play it safe. Enemy is not attacking this turn, which is great, because I have plenty of attack options. Right, down to 23 health. Go ahead and neutralize here to weaken him a little bit. We have another Blade Dance or 5 poison damage. Why not? Shiv is free. Let's go ahead and use Survivor here, Defend, and Poison. Took 3 damage this time around. Another 21 here. Dodge and roll. Alright, and now he will die from poison. Cunning Potion, add 6 Shiv plus to your hand. Acrobatics, draw 3 cards and discard 1. Bullet Time. You cannot draw additional cards this turn. Reduce the cost of all cards in your hand to 0. There are times when Bullet Time would be very helpful. Let's go ahead and pick that up. I don't have a lot of additional draw to worry about. Let's go ahead and get Ruby Key here. Head into the next combat here. I don't think I'll be going left. I don't need this shop. Instead, I think we will be going straight up for the fire and chest. However, there are more question marks and less combats if we go left. But I'll miss out on the extra fire. It may be worth it, though. Yet another fire here. Alright, let's go into the next fight here. 119 health. This enemy will confuse me on his first turn, changing the cost of my cards randomly. Let's go ahead and use our Cunning Potion. Go ahead and get some big damage. Finisher will now go off 7 times. Puts the enemy down to 38 health. Eight damage incoming this time around. I have next to no mana. Let's go ahead and get Cloak and Dagger here. This will block all but 2. Everything in the first 3 cards cost 0. That's fantastic. Bullet Time here. We can play everything in our hand. That is a full block, as well as 2 invulnerable. And the battle is over. Leg Sweep Plus, apply 3 weak, gain 14 block. Bane is upgraded. And Accuracy, Shivs deal 4 additional damage. That is fantastic, given that our deck is primarily Shiv based. Alright, so we are interested in heading straight up because of the 3rd fire that I see here. Let's go ahead and smith. If we were to smith our accuracy card here, Shivs would deal 6 additional damage. Let's go ahead and get that upgraded. We could pick up Kunai. Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dexterity. That's actually very beneficial to us because we play a lot of attacks with our Shivs. So let's go ahead and take that. I do need to eventually find a chest to take the final part of the key to unlock the final boss. 10 damage from the enemy in the back, 5 from the enemy in the front. Let's go ahead and get Deflect out because it is no cost. I'm going to hold off on Wraith Form for now. Let's get Outmaneuver and Dodge and Roll going. Into Cloak and Dagger. That gives us 14 will block almost all of the incoming damage. One damage, that'll trigger our draw. Let's go ahead and get accuracy started. Play both of our cloak and daggers here. Let's get our dodge and roll out for next turn. And our caltrips as well. Our shivs are now going to do 10 damage each. The enemy in the front has buffed his strength by 1. Enemy in the back has made it so that way playing certain cards, I believe powers and skills, will add a useless card into my deck. We don't need to play bullet time here because everything else is cheap enough. Let's go ahead and get infinite blades going. Neutralize into strike into finisher. That will knock the enemy in the front down to the ground. Gained 1 dexterity due to kunai. Let's go ahead and neutralize on the enemy in the back to reduce his strength a little bit. 3 mana left to work with. Let's go ahead and get Blade Dance started. Just enough to take out the enemy in the front. Could gain 10 block from Survivor. Why not? Yeah, let's go ahead and fully block this damage. We have the ability to do it. Ah, footwork. 2 more dexterity. Kunai combined with our accuracy card that increases the damage from shivs is really carrying this this playthrough at the moment. We'll take a little bit of damage here. Puts us at 32 health. Unfortunately, I am just short of finishing this enemy here, so I will take another 5. That will deal counter damage to him though, taking him out. Another flex potion. Interesting. So, I didn't notice this initially, but trading my potion belt for the gift did not take away my potion slots. So I do still have 5 open potion slots. Sort of makes me wonder if I can find another potion belt and get 2 additional potion slots on top of that. If this card is discarded from your hand, gain 1 mana. I don't really want any of these cards. I'm going to go ahead and skip those. Into the next combat here. Ah, my favorite enemy. Fantastic. Let's go and apply some weak. We'll get Cloak and Dagger going. And apply some poison, why not? Now I could go ahead and use these shivs here, or I could hold on to them. They will remain in the deck. Alright, my Ceasing Top has triggered. Or, sorry, Centennial Puzzle has triggered. Alright, let's get Infinite Blades started here. Looking at 21 damage. We'll get Dodge and Roll started. Deflect into Defend. We're going to take 8 damage here. Puts us at 16 health. Fantastic. We've drawn accuracy. Let's go ahead and get Blade Dance going. Outmaneuver for next turn. Yes, unfortunately I do not have enough attacks to trigger 2 kunais this turn, so we will have to settle for 1. Puts the enemy at 36 health. He is poisoned, so he will take some damage that is not blocked. Another 21 damage incoming. Let's go ahead and get footwork going. Strike into a shiv, into finisher. Give us 1 additional dexterity for our defense. Down to 7 health. Another 21 damage incoming here. Blade Dance to finish it. Let's go ahead and use our... Well, do we need to use our Flex Potion, actually? We will be doing 7 damage per shiv. He's going to gain some block here. So 4 damage gets through, and then 3 damage, and then 2. I don't see a way that we make it through this without popping the potion, so let's go ahead and do that. Fantastic. 15 gold, 20 damage to all enemies. Well-laid plans. At the end of your turn, retain up to 1 card. Upgraded backflip, gain 8 block and draw 2 cards. Sure, let's go ahead and pick up backflip here for the additional block. 7 health left to survive this encounter. I don't think they'll make it easy. Let's go ahead and use our potion. Start off with 20 damage. Eight damage incoming. We can block all of that with Survivor. I'm going to go ahead and use Strike into Finisher. Damage incoming. I don't have enough block to make this work. So unfortunately, it looks like this will be the end of this playthrough. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. It helps my channel out a lot. Or if you're interested in checking me out on Twitch, please feel free to drop by and toss me a follow. I do stream 5 days a week from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. EST. So if you miss me one day, don't fret. Just pop in the next. Alright, until next time.